Can you hear me now? Okay, now let me introduce our today's inspiring guest. He's Shokirjon. Shokirjon is a programming specialist and our youth focal point at the UN Migration Agency, IOM, in Tajikistan with extensive experience in migration, youth engagement, and social cohesion. He has worked on initiatives supporting to the protection of vulnerable migrations, safe migration, and counter-trafficking, as well as fostering social cohesion among youth from Afghan and host communities in Tajikistan. Shokirjon initiated and coordinates the Central Asia Youth Advisory Board on Migration, shortly CAYAB, and the IOM Youth Network in Tajikistan, promoting meaningful youth participation and regional cooperation. His professional journey also includes serving as a visiting researcher at the German Institute for International and Security Affairs, shortly SWP in Berlin, where he focused on regional security dynamics in Central Asia. He also been actively engaged with youth NGOs, advancing education and economic empowerment in rural areas. Holds a master's degree in politics and security from the OSCE Academy and remains passionate about empowering youth to become active agent of positive change across Central Asia. So now, before I give the floor to Shokirjon to introduce himself, I would like to ask everybody to head over to the description of the video and assist us in evaluating the session, respond to the questions via the link. We appreciate your feedback. Now I give the floor to Shokirjon to introduce himself.
Thank you very much, Aziz. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you to the C5+1 Youth Council for invitation. It's a real pleasure to be speaking to young people from across Central Asia and Afghanistan. Yes, thank you for the detailed introduction. I would just add that I worked like at different levels. I am still at my in my early career stage, but yeah, I worked in NGOs at local level, in academia, was between academia and the international organizations, and yes, and I joined IOM Tajikistan in 2022 and was working in different units, including protection unit and counter-trafficking. And then right now, currently, I am working on social cohesion among Afghan refugees and host communities in Tajikistan, and also serving as a youth focal point for the mission in Tajikistan. Yeah, like shortly, that's all. Aziz.
Thank you, Shokirjon. So to give a bit more context about the program behind this session, let me tell you about the C5+1 Youth Council. In 2016, the U.S. Embassy in Kyrgyz Republic created a dynamic C5+1 Youth Council that brings together youth from Central Asia and Afghanistan with diverse background, leadership skills, and mindset for positive change. Since October 2023, the Center for Civic Engagement of the American University of Central Asia has administered the C5+1 Council program with a grant from the United States Department of State. The opinions, findings, and conclusions stated herein are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect those of the United States Department of State. The goal of the project is to develop a regional network of civically engaged and English-speaking youth leaders across Central Asia who work to advance C5+1 priorities. So before Shokirjon Shokirov starts his presentation, I would like again ask everybody to head over to the description of the video and assist us in evaluating the session by responding to the questions via the link. Share feedback. Now I'm giving floor. Moving on, Shokirjon, please go ahead with your presentation. We're ready to hear from you.
Thank you very much, Aziz. Again, yes, thank you for the information about C5+1. I am very impressed by the work you are doing, guys. Yes, so the topic we're exploring today is very close that work that and my experience. It is youth on the move, navigating migration and building resilient communities in Central Asia. So here, like, we will not talk about only, or we are not talking about migration as a distant policy topic, but is something that defines the lives, choices, and dreams of millions of young people in our region. Because here in Central Asia, migration is a part of everyday reality. As you know, it shapes our economies, families, even our identities to some extent. Before talking about young people, I would I would like to talk about the perspective of migration at the global level. And if you could move to the next slide, Aziz. So migration is not a new and is not a new trend. It has been existing since the existence of human being. So as you can see, here is the small statistics of international migrants, and as you can see, like only for 50 years, the number of migrants, international migrants, doubled, consisting now 304 million international migrants worldwide. This is almost the population of the entire United States, right? So therefore, like, if migrants form the country, it will be the third largest country, like maybe after United States and China. So technically, migration is not just movement; it's also like superpower. So, but migration is uh, uh, so yeah, as I said, is not new, but it's old as humanity. Humanity. People always moved like to find safety, love, adventure, and so on. But what's changed is the scale and reasons. Today, people move not only because of conflict or poverty, but also because of climate change, inequality, lack of opportunities at home, etc. And here is the one number can already tell us more words than anything else. So among 304 million international migrants, 31% of all international migrants are under age of 30. That means like nearly 1 in 3 migrants is someone our age, like studying, working, exploring, rebuilding their lives somewhere, and so on. Next slide, please. Now let's zoom in closer to our region. Before we look at some statistics, I would like to ask participants to put in the chat or to answer the question on how do you define the youth in terms of age? Who are young people? What age? Maybe ages are different in different countries of Central Asia. So please text it. So I will be reading. Across Central Asia, as you can see, from like 50 to 60% of the entire population of the region are under 30. And in Tajikistan, like it is, this number is closer to 70, meaning that it is a big portion of a big percentage of population are young people under 30. So basically, if you walk into a random room like in Dushanbe or I don't know in Tashkent, there is like 80% of chance that you will bump into someone under 30, probably looking for opportunities or applying for a visa. So why? Because the most mobile age group in the region is youth. Also, as I already mentioned, globally, 31% of all international migrants are young people, but it is even higher in Central Asia, which is like 38 to 40% of young migrants in Central Asia. Like migrants in Central Asia, young people. As I see already, like answers in the chat, like 14 to 35, 18 to 35. Yes, so yes and no. Let's say like this. So in Kazakhstan, if it's look at the Kazakhstan, in Kazakhstan it is like between 14 and or 29 to 30, let's say. Kyrgyzstan almost the same, like 14 and 28. Uzbekistan 14. Uzbekistan in Tajikistan 14 and 30. UN defines, I mean, there are different definitions. UN defines young people as individuals between 15 and 24 years old, while UN Resolution 2250 defines them as individuals between 18 and 29. So in general, we can take the 14 to 30. Yes. So if you okay, next slide, please. So to understand the movement, especially the youth movement, it's very important to understand the migration journey itself through stages and levels of migrations. It's also important to know those details to be able to protect young people on the move and build resilient communities. Why these details are so important? We will talk in next slides. So we have small exercise that you can participate. As you can see, we have here like 3 stages, but it's not 3. There are 4 stages, because country of origin it can be divided into 2, like pre-departure, like before going to migration, when migrants decide to make decision to go to another country, and after returning from migration. Therefore, we can calculate country of origin as 2. So country of origin, it's clear that this is the stage where the decision to migrate begins. Transit, where the journey can be uncertain or risky. And the destination is the final country where migrants migrate, and where they have to work, adapt, and work and live, right? And we have also levels: individual, family, community, and structural levels, because understanding the vulnerabilities and understanding the migration in general at those levels provide us more insights towards building resilient communities and making the migration work for all. So at individual levels means that a person's education, income, knowledge of language, and so on. The household is overall psychological situation in the family, number of family members, family income, and so on. The community level is the environment that surrounds the migrants, the community, where the social norms also play crucial role, and so on. The structural level is mostly system-based level. It is about laws, about trends, global trends, about protection of rights of migrants, and so on. So it means that when someone says he went to work abroad, there is actually a whole process of decisions, risks, and systems behind that simple sentence. It's not just going from A to B, but it's whole process that require our careful analysis. Like you can think about migration like a chess game, like one move at a time, right? But each depending on the last. So difference is in real life, people don't always get to choose which side of the board they are on. So migration involves careful steps and consequences like chess, but unlike chess, migrants often do not choose their circumstances. They're forced to play a game they didn't start, and under the rules they didn't set, and so on. So to understand these stages and levels, I would propose to move to next slide. And yes, we need to compare the vulnerabilities and resilience. So in all these migration stages and at all these levels, we have vulnerability factors and protection factors. And these factors make the migration either vulnerable, or resilience. So therefore, to understand this, we need to understand their profile of migrants in general at all levels and in all stages. Next slide, please. Like in this example, right? Let's imagine that Aisha and Amir, let's say from Tajikistan, please pay attention that it's in country of origin. So they are at the first stage of migration. So both are in their early 20s, both want a better life, but like both want a better life abroad, both are brave, hopeful, and ready to take risks to migrate to another country. But starting points could be different, right? Before we before I explain this, I would like to ask you to put, like, based on the factors you can see, to put the name of the our fictional name, fictional migrant, in the chat. Which one is more vulnerable, Aisha or Amir? So Aisha lives in remote village with few job opportunities. Let's say completed only secondary school, and she family depends on her remittances. Faces also social pressure because like just for being a woman, limited freedom to travel alone. No formal education, information about migration, labor rights, and she doesn't have enough budget to pay recruitment fees. And we have on the other hand, we have Amir, who comes from a small city. He completed vocational training, which means he has the technical skills that he can use, and has friends who have already gone abroad safely. His family supports him, checks official information online, and so on. And do we have like answers who can be most vulnerable in this situation, Aisha or Amir? I see Aisha. Aisha? Yes, yes, excellent. Yes, like these factors actually make Aisha like highly vulnerable at risk of unsafe migration, exploitation, and debt, right? While like this makes like the factors that Amir has make him like better prepared, informed, and able to support others. So both Aisha and Amir have the same dream to build a better life for themselves and their families, but one has information, support, and choices. The other doesn't. And the difference, I mean, that difference can completely change their migration experience. Here, like the key message is resilience is not luck. It is something that can be built through the awareness, skills, and support. And here, exactly, I can see the great role of young people like you. So when we talk about migration, our goal is simple: to make every young person's journey as safe and empowering as Amir's. Now let's switch to the next slide. Yes, and here I have very small exercise for you. Let's say that one migrant man, 25 years old, is migrating to another country, and currently he is in transit. So right now we have the information only about his gender and age. So is it the factor of risk or factor of protection? Like man, 25 years old, and he is migrating to another country. Currently, he is in transit, and he is 25 years old. Any thoughts? Next slide. As you can see, it is factors of protection. Why? Because he's in his middle age. Probably he's physically good enough, and he can. He's not a child. He's not minor, and he's not elderly person. So therefore, it can be protection factor. And the next question is history of domestic violence. So he has the history of domestic violence in his family. Is it a factor of risk or protection? Next slide. We don't have enough time, so if I have to. Yes, as you can see, it was risk. So 1 point added to the risk. And next is he lives in the slums, like in not enabling environment, let's say, in the community, in a unhealthy community. So is it the risk or protection? Next slide. It is risk. It is high risk, and it impacts on his journey and on him in general. Yes, risk. Low level of rule of law. So the person is in transit, and in transit country, the level of rule of law is very low. Is it risk and protection? Next. Yes, it is risk. And in this case, as we can see, this person is in vulnerable situation and lacks proper protection mechanisms. Next slide. The same exercise, but this one is for country of destination, and we only have information about women. She's woman. Is it factor of risk or protection? Next slide. You see, nothing has been added to protection or risk, because just being woman does not mean that vulnerable. So therefore, many people get confused and somehow consider women as vulnerable. But here we don't know other details like age. We don't know about family situation, socioeconomic situation, and so on. Therefore, we cannot say that this is vulnerable. And the next question is high level of education of family members. Is it a factor of protection or risk? Next. Of course, it is a factor of protection. 2 points were added. Lives in privileged area. Next. It is also a factor of protection because the community surrounding her impact a lot on her education, on her well-being in general. And the last question is, laws restrict women's rights. Please consider that she's in country of destination. So in country of destination where she came, national laws restrict her rights. So is it a risk or protection? Next. It's very high risk. because if there is no mechanism of protection mechanisms of women's rights, then this person, despite the fact that she is educated, young, and supported by family members, grown in privileged area, she is still in risk. Next slide, please. Okay, we have just seen how vulnerability and resilience can shape a young person's journey, and now let's talk about young people. How young people can make migration safer and communities stronger. For that, I have selected three directions for Central Asia. These are like promote regular migration pathways, shape positive migration narratives, build climate resilient communities. I see also questions regarding the climate. Maybe at the end of the presentation, I will have a chance to address your questions. So as you can see, like what's regular migration, right? Regular migration means that safe and legal ways for people to move for work, education, or family reunification. You can think of it like this way: regular migration is irregular migration is trying to cross a river with no bridge. With high risks that this person can think, right? But regular migration, I mean, regular pathway here in the river is a bridge. So youth can help build it by raising awareness, sharing correct information, and advocating for fair systems. Therefore, here is your role to build the bridge in that river, so migrants could cross using regular pathways. What the narratives is another factor that we will talk a bit in detail in next slides, so I don't want to touch it right now. And the same with climate resilient communities. Can you please move to the next slide? Yes, why promote regular migration pathways, right? So just from the context of Central Asia is now exploring new labor migration corridors. You are aware of a lot of examples about seasonal work schemes to Great Britain, United Kingdom, and also regular organized migration to South Korea, to Japan, and so on. And to some extent, Central Asia also becoming country of destination, especially Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan in terms of education, because many people, compared to other countries, Kyrgyzstan hosts the majority of the students studying in Kyrgyzstan. Also, there is a big interest in ethical recruitment and priority to promote ethical recruitment, where a role of recruitment agencies are high, because it depends on recruitment agencies how migration can be regular, safe, and protected. Therefore, the government of Central Asian countries are also working on this and doing their best to make this happen. And also we have private sector engagement. Why it is important? Because if you want regular migration pathways, only agreements between two governments are not enough. There should be demand. Demand should be created by private sector engagement in foreign country. For instance, if there is a private engagement, big private company that needs labor force, the company can request the government to host more migrants, and two parties can organize a regular pathway to that or those countries. Therefore, the private sector engagement is also very important. Next. Yeah, as you can see, here is like few kind of facts which are being updated all the time. And as you can see, Kazakhstan has very diverse migration. diverse migration destinations, and the first directions are mostly legalized by signed bilateral agreements or MOUs. The second is like areas for exploration. Next, please. Kyrgyzstan, I didn't manage to integrate more countries. So here, like the 4 key countries, like 3 key countries with whom Kyrgyzstan has BLA, but also right now it was updated that Kyrgyzstan has this BLA with BLL or MOU with Slovak Republic, Germany, and of course Russian Federation. I mean, it is from the very beginning. It was Russian Federation who was hosting migrants from Central Asia, Turkey, and so on. Next. So Tajikistan. In Tajikistan, we also can see that there are few countries where the PLAs is signed with those countries to send Tajik migrants to those countries. But also there is a big interest in the government diversification of migration destinations, and a lot of efforts are being done both by the government and local and international partners to ensure to expand the migration destinations. Like we recently started teaching Japanese language to prospective migrants, and they are learning also Korean language, English language to be able to migrate to United Kingdom, and so on. Next, please. Yes, Uzbekistan has much more the destination countries and PLAs. As you can see, Uzbekistan is quite successful in diversifying this migration in terms of numbers of quotas that have been provided to Uzbekistan, and different kind of, let's say, different kind of migration destinations. So this is a great example for diversification of migration. Next. Unfortunately, we don't have enough data on Turkmenistan, so Turkmenistan was not included here. But yeah, we can cover it later on. So I created like a small slide dedicated to the education, regular pathways for education, because education, when you go to education, when you migrate to another country for the purpose of education, it's already a regular migration pathway. But but we have some challenges related to education. It is, first of all, the demand in Central Asia is increasing day by day, but accessibility is an issue. So since we have socioeconomic issues and so on, and limited scholarships available for young people, not all young people in Central Asia can benefit from those scholarship opportunities and migrate for education despite the high interest. And also brain drain concerns, like in some countries, we also observe that people, the national governments are also concerned about brain drain. Young people, more young and skilled people are leaving the country and not returning. But at the same time, it also limits the government, potential government intervention to create opportunities for those young people. These concerns. And also there are the positive things, like migrants coming back from abroad and building their own communities. There are a lot of impressive examples, like in Tajikistan, maybe you have heard about Zipple AI, which is becoming regional hub for artificial intelligence, and the founder of the Zipple AI, also Azizjon Azimi, with whom I had I had a chance to work with. He also, for instance, studied abroad in US and came back and created his own company. Now he's the most importantly, he's connecting other young people abroad through his company, and they are contributing to the development of our country. Therefore, skilled diaspora is always as an asset, and there should be all conditions and enabling conditions for the development of this diaspora as an asset. Next slide, please. So what's your role in addressing those risks that has been already mentioned, and how you can prevent those risks, let's say. So so as you know that many people, like, even so we have the governments are trying to diversify the migration to other destinations, we still are dependent on informal migration, meaning that many people, the majority of people, are going to Russian Federation informally without regular pathways and without contracts beforehand, and this also creates risks. Even regular migration pathways poses risks. For instance, seasonal work to UK. We see a lot of advertisements online, offline, and everywhere offering work in the United Kingdom for Tajik migrants. Just an example from Tajikistan, Tajik migrants, and they ask money, like certain amount of money, to be able to contract them or provide the contract. And at the end, the prospective migrant who wanted to go to United Kingdom is left without money, and he or she becomes the victim of fraud. And lack of accessibility, limited availability, meaning that limited availability. So if we talk about the general picture, those destinations do not provide a large number of opportunities. They are very limited. And Central Asian countries are trying to maximize and increase these numbers. Lack of accessibility. This is another very great challenge for Central Asian countries. For instance, if you want to work in Japan, then you have to know Japanese language. And we organize 3 months and 6 months courses. We are organizing it still, but we're already facing challenges related to the language. I mean, it's not just possible. Japanese language is very difficult, and it's not possible to learn it for 3 months and be able to work in Japan, right? So it requires a lot of efforts, commitments from migrants, prospective migrants, and also tailored programs for those migrants. To make it short, youth engagement. So here, like you can be as an agent of change, like advocating for regular pathways and kind of promoting regular pathways, raising awareness about through peer education. And one of these platforms is C5+1, and share verified information, promote ethical recruitment processes. So if you are aware of the information as an innovative people, so you know that where to get the right information. So you have to share it with others so they don't become the victims of those frauds and online scammers. Next slide, please. Okay, another thing which is very close to my heart is migration narratives in Central Asia. So I would like to ask you a question. So what you think, I mean, when you hear the word of migration, what words or what picture comes to your mind? Migration, what words and picture come to your mind? Yeah, you can put in the chat. Like you can put like one word. Just explain it with one word. What comes to your mind uh, when you think about migration? Change. And another question is, when you read newsletters and so on, what comes to your mind about migration? And what do you hear or what do you see in the news about migration, especially right now? Next slide, please. Yes, change, crossing the border. Great. So here, I know that my time is very limited. I will just go very quickly and then can maybe be able to answer your questions. Yes, negative information, very good. Yes, as you can see, here's the statistics that from some research. When media talks or politicians use very often many politicians and media use migration as negative and for political purposes, and at the same time creates a negative migration narratives. And as you can see, only 20% of media coverage highlights the human stories about positive migrations, while 80% of the successful human stories and positive migration narratives are underrepresented. And here is another factor is data. So we see, for instance, if we take the European Union, we see that there are a lot of narratives saying that migrants are coming irregularly. And as you can see, statistics says in a different way. And we have more regular migrants than more migrants coming regularly through regular pathways than irregular ones. Next. Uh, and also the term of irregular and regular. So you maybe know about legal and illegal. So when you use legal and illegal instead of regular and irregular, it's already about negative migration narratives. Therefore, please be careful. And UN has adopted terminology using like regular and irregular. There cannot be people illegal or legal. There can be only regular and irregular migrations. Here, what you can do is storytelling. You can show the real migrants' story. You can show their contributions. You can show their successful community building initiatives. You can promote evidence-based conversations. Like you can also bridge if you are in the country of destination, you can also bridge the migrants and host communities, advocate for balanced media coverage, and show the examples. Next. And the last one is about climate and climate-induced displacement. This is also becoming very topical issue in Central Asia, not only in Central Asia but in the world, and therefore this should be another priority for young people on the move to build the resilient communities. And you know the reasons. So how climate change is impacting on people, on the region, on livelihood of people, making them vulnerable, and so on. Here, I forgot, I didn't manage to put one research conducted by IOM, where in Central Asian countries, where we found out that migration was as a great example of adaptation during these climate-induced displacements or vulnerabilities. Next. And here again, your role is like raising awareness, enhancing climate migration literacy, like strengthening policy engagement, youth participation. And on this topic, I see a lot of, I see great role of young people at the structural level, like policy level. Your perspectives should be included in the national adaptation plans in Central Asia, and you should be the driving force for the implementation of these national adaptations plans. And as you know, soon COP30 is coming, and yesterday and today, I was actually participating and supporting the event of LCOI. It is local conference, youth conferences ahead of COP, and I was very impressed by the youth statement provided by young people on climate change, human mobility in the climate change contexts, and so on. Therefore, here you should be more like active and show your active civil position. Next slide, please, and probably the last one, I guess. Yes, and the last one, I would like to just kind of recommend like how to build your resilient community, or not, or maybe reiterate it again, because you already know that young people should be informed about migration, and being informed means a lot. Like, you protect your own rights and you protect the rights of those that surrounds you. Therefore, information and evidence-based let's say evidence-based communication is key here, and you are the drivers of this direction. Please be informed of the risk, be informed of the narratives, and so on. And the next one is be involved. Like, you should show, I mean, let's recognize that right now donor funding for the region is decreasing, and it doesn't mean that we should stay passive, but we should show passion, we should show active civic engagement, and we should raise all our voices to be involved, and our perspectives are being integrated. And in this case, there are a lot of platforms. One of them is MYCP, Migration Youth and Children Platform, and also CAYAB, Central Asia Youth Advisory Board. Maybe you have already heard about it. We are still operationalizing the CAYAB, but yeah, joining these platforms will provide you a lot of advantages to be informed, to be on the track, and to show your perspectives. And another great example I see is C5+1, and I saw also their initiatives in Kyrgyzstan on human trafficking, on combating trafficking in persons, and I was really impressed by the work that these people are doing. Another one is be vocal. Like, as I said, use your voice for truth, empathy, and to support others. Be adaptive. Like, you can see that the world is is changing very quickly, and it's very hard to follow up everything and so on. But if you have the great skill being like adaptive, you can tackle all these challenges and navigate your future goals. So therefore, being adaptive is another great skill to build your resilient community in the context of migration. Be collaborative, meaning that there are a lot of shared values in Central Asia. So if you are collaborative with other countries, if you are from Kyrgyzstan and you can collaborate with Tajikistan, because there are the challenges may be the same for both countries or for all 5 countries. Therefore, collaboratively, you can tackle the issue better than alone. So again, I am reiterating that I am referring to the platforms that provide you more opportunities to be collaborative and contribute to the resilient societies. Next slide. I think this was the last slide. Oh, okay, yes, this was the last slide, and thank you very much for your time, and sorry that I took more time than expected. Yes.
Thank you, Shokirjon. It was awesome presentation. I think everyone will agree with me with that. I'd like to ask everybody to head over of the description of the video and assist us in evaluating the session by responding to the questions. We appreciate your feedback. Once again, that was a great presentation. Thank you once more. Let me remind you that the C5+1 is a diverse group of university students from Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Afghanistan. Every year, new in-person and virtual youth council members from Central Asian countries and Afghanistan are selected among students representing local universities in Kyrgyzstan based on open competition, which includes application review, interviews, gender balance, diversity, and genuine interest in YC objectives. Currently, the C5 plus 1 council network consists of 186 YC alumni and 49 YC members. The Youth Council reinforces the US Central Asia joint goals of the C5 plus 1 platform. The C5 plus 1 Youth Council members and alumni conduct their own youth-led projects that align with the C5 plus 1 platform agenda, peace and security, economic growth, energy and environment, people-to-people connections. So before we go to Q&A session, we'd love to hear any thoughts in the comments. So we are running a bit out of time and we will read around 5 to 6 questions. Yes, we already have them. Hold on. Okay, we have the question here. The climate change affecting youth migration in Central Asia, and do you see a regional cooperation improving to address this? And how does IOM include climate resilience in its programs?
Thank you very much for the question. I will just make one disclaimer before I answer this question. I am not a climate change technical specialist, but I will try to explain how it affects on youth migration in Central Asia. So as you see that in Central Asia, one of the biggest problem is related to climate change is water scarcity and drought. And since many people, I mean, if you take Tajikistan, like more than 70% of population live in rural areas. In rural areas, people are dependent on the agriculture products, and even so, their families migrate to Russian Federation. But they also highly dependent on the agriculture sector, let's say. So in this case, climate change and drought and water scarcity is affecting a lot young people, making them to migrate instead of doing their agriculture in their home countries. And there were like research being conducted by the Food and Agriculture Organization on role of youth in the agriculture sector, and I was also participating in some interviews, and I heard that many people do not choose agriculture sector just because of this this climate change, water scarcity, and so on and so on. About the regional cooperation, as you can see, I mean, regional cooperation is already in the process of improving. Like we have already delimited borders. I mean, in Central Asia in general, and we had Central Asian summits, and people are. I mean, the governments are talking to each other and starting to solve the issues at the regional level. At the community level, I would say that here, like we can see regional cooperations among young people. Platforms like use platforms like C5+1, CAYAB, and other platforms like EU has created another advisory board. All these platforms can serve as a good regional cooperation framework for young people to address the issues, to raise their voices on these issues and provide innovative solutions to these issues. What about IOM? IOM is implementing several like climate-related migrations, but the scope is very limited, and mostly IOM is working at the structural level to help the government develop the national adaptation plans and include the human mobility into the national adaptation plans. So while the implementation of these national action plans, governments and all stakeholders consider human mobility issue in general. So yeah, that would be my answer. I hope I somehow could answer your question.
Thank you for the informing answer here. We are moving to the next question. The question is, how does the migration affect family structures and gender roles in Central Asian societies?
This is actually a really good question because yeah, like you already know that this migration, especially in Central Asia, sometimes causing separation of families and of course affecting on long-term family values and where like children and elderly people should remain at home, but other people like migrants who has the labor force who has the ability to work, they remain in the migration and others at home. Of course, this affects family cohesion first of all, and maybe some emotional ties, psychosocial conditions, and so on. Also, another great factor is female female-headed households, where the main breadwinner in the family, automatically becomes a woman who is staying at home, and sometimes this causes, sometimes in cases of women left behind in the country of origin, they face a lot of socioeconomic issues, and as a breadwinner faces kind of unique challenges to support her family. So when their husbands migrate to other countries, females like automatically becomes like a household and breadwinner in the family. Also, gender roles. Let's say that migration is also improving or empowering women. Like women going to migration, they are coming back with new skills, like self-esteem, self-resilient, and so on. Even so, they are also facing big harmful beliefs and attitudes towards from communities. They are still coming back with skills that can be that they can use to educate their children and so on. Also, the challenges here, like related challenges, are big because we had a kind of study in several regions of Tajikistan where we found out a huge level of harmful beliefs and attitudes from communities towards women migrants or towards migrants who returned from migration, like criticizing their appearance, criticizing their migration experience, and so on, so on. So here, like the answer is very general. I mean, there are a lot of factors, and we should consider all factors to explain how migration impacts on family structures and gender roles. But in general, I think migration impacts like in terms of gender roles positively, in terms of family structures negatively. But depending on the country and so on. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shokirjon, once again. I think it was our last question for today because we are running out of time for this session. And now, let me remind you that about the C platform. That in 2016, the U.S. Muslim Kyrgyz Republic created a dynamic C Council that brings together youth from Central Asia and Afghanistan with the diverse backgrounds, leadership skills, and mindset for positive change. Since October 2023, the Center for Civic Engagement of the Center of the American University of Central Asia has administered the C5+1 Youth Council program with a grant from the United States Department of State. The opinions, findings, and conclusions stated herein are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect those of the United States Department of State. The goal of the project is to develop a regional network of civically engaged and English-speaking youth leaders across the Central Asia who work to advance C5+1 priorities. The C5+1 Youth Council is a diverse group of university students from Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Afghanistan. Currently, the C5+1 YC network consists of 186 alumni and 49 YC members. I would like to remind today's speaker, Shokirjon Shokirov, a programming specialist and youth focal point at the UN Migration Agency in Tajikistan. Shokirjon brings extensive experience in migration, youth engagement, and social cohesion across the region. He has worked on initiatives supporting the protection of vulnerable migrants, safe migration, and counter-trafficking, as well as fostering social cohesion among youth from Afghan and host communities in Tajikistan. He also initiated and coordinates the Central Asia Youth Advisory Board on Migration, CAYAB, and the IOM Youth Network in Tajikistan, promoting meaningful youth participation and regional cooperation. Shokirjon holds a master's degree in politics and security from the OSCE Academy. Um, Concluding this session, I would like to ask everybody to head over to the description of the video and assist us in evaluating the session by responding to the questions via the link. We appreciate your feedback. Shokirjon, thank you for your presentation. It was really informing. And thank you everyone for joining our session. Please stay up to date to our pages on Facebook, YouTube, Telegram, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Thank you everyone. We are finishing our session. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Aziz, for invitations. Thank you for joining, guys. So yeah, I hope to see you in other events and talk in person next time.
See you. Bye-bye.